You know that feeling, right? When you're talking to someone, really pouring your heart out, and you just get the sense that they're not actually hearing you. They're just kind of waiting for their turn to talk. Well, today, we're going to dive into a skill that completely flips that script. It's called empathetic listening, and it is, no joke, one of the most powerful ways to connect with another person. And by the end of this, you'll know exactly how to do it.
So, let me just ask you this, straight up. When someone is talking to you, are you just hearing their words, or are you trying to connect with their world? That little difference, well, it's everything, and it's at the very heart of what we're about to get into. Okay, so before we get into the nuts and bolts, the how-to part of this, we really need to understand the why. What's the big deal? What is the actual power of empathy in a conversation, and why does this one skill matter so much?
So what are we really talking about here? At its core, empathetic listening is all about zeroing in on the feeling that someone's trying to get across. It's about taking a second to put yourself in their shoes and really try to grasp where they're coming from emotionally. It's not about gathering data, it's about making a connection.
And get this, when you do this, something pretty incredible happens. The other person feels genuinely seen and understood, which is one of the most profound gifts you can give someone. This builds seriously strong bonds, and it actually sets you up to respond in a way that's truly helpful. It's an absolute game changer, whether you're leading a team, being a parent, or just being a good friend.
All right, but here's where things get interesting. The whole idea of empathy gets misunderstood a lot, and a lot of us, with the best intentions, have been getting it a little bit wrong, which can ironically get in the way of connecting. So let's bust the two biggest myths right now.
Okay, myth number 1. Empathy does not mean you have to agree with the other person. You can totally understand why your coworker is frustrated about a new policy without thinking the policy is bad yourself. It's just about acknowledging their feeling. And the second one, and this is a huge one, empathy is not about fixing their problem. Our instinct is so often to jump into problem-solving mode, but your first job isn't to be a fixer, it's to be a connector.
And it hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? So often, people don't actually want advice or a 10-step plan. This simple act of being that empathetic ear, of just letting them talk it through, that is the help they need in that moment.
All right, so now that we know what empathetic listening is, and just as important, what it isn't, let's get practical. It's time to open up the listener's toolkit. I'm going to give you 3 core practices you can start using, like today.
So there are 3 core practices, and I want you to think of them as all working together. It starts inside your own head, then moves to what you're observing, and finally, it ends with how you actually respond.
Practice number 1, be genuine. Look, this has to be real. You just can't fake it. It starts with a little bit of mental work. When someone tells you they just lost their job, you have to pause for a second and genuinely ask yourself, man, how would I feel if that happened to me? Tapping into that potential feeling is the whole foundation.
Next up, practice 2. Pay attention. You've got to become a bit of an emotional detective here. So often, people show us how they feel long before they tell us. Look for that mismatch, when someone says, "Oh, I'm fine," but their shoulders are slumped and they won't make eye contact. Notice those little flashes of emotion. The real story is often hiding in plain sight. And finally, practice 3, reflect back. Okay, now it's your turn to talk, but here's the key. Your only job is to be a mirror. You're not there to analyze them like a therapist. You're just there to reflect back the big picture emotion you're hearing so they know, okay, this person gets it. And honestly, this can be so simple. Let's say someone's venting about a roadblock at work. A simple phrase like, "That sounds so frustrating," is perfect. You're not solving it, you're not judging it, you're just sitting with them in that feeling of frustration. Or, what if a friend is wrestling with a big decision? Saying something like, "Wow, it sounds like you're feeling really torn," shows that you're hearing the deeper conflict. You see the struggle, not just the pros and cons list. And sometimes, it's just about acknowledging the sheer weight of it all. Someone's telling you all the things they're juggling. Just saying, "Wow, that's a lot to handle," is incredibly powerful. It gives them permission to feel overwhelmed and shows you see how much is on their plate. Okay, this brings us to the pro tip. And this is for all of us fixers out there. You know who you are. The ones who hear a problem and immediately want to solve it. I mean, you know that feeling, don't you? The second someone tells you their problem, your brain just goes into overdrive, creating a 10-point action plan. And look, it comes from a good place, but it often just hijacks the conversation and can even make the other person feel like you didn't really hear them. So here it is, the golden rule that's going to save you every single time. It's so simple. Ask first. Before you offer one piece of advice, before you try to fix anything, you just pause and ask.
So after you've done the work, you've listened, you've reflected their feeling, you just take a breath and ask that one simple question. Is there anything I can do to help? And you know what? 9 times out of 10, they're going to say, no, thanks, I just needed to talk. And they will be so grateful that you gave them that space instead of a solution they never asked for.
So as we wrap this up, I'm not going to give you a big summary. Instead, I'll just leave you with this question to take with you. Now that you have these tools, who in your life right now, at work or at home, who just really needs an empathetic ear today? Go be that person for them.